Hey everybody, I'm Bob Lucido and this is the Bearcat Training Camp, where we are providing in-depth business building training for Team Beachbody coaches. All right, in the last episode, we opened up the topic of coach placement and covered some of the sort of beginning concepts and strategies to keep in mind as you begin building your organization. We're going to take that one step further today and talk about something called stacking. Okay? Now, remember in some of the earlier videos when we were talking about maximizing your capacity to earn under the compensation plan, and we talked about team cycle bonus. And one of the things that we discussed is that in order to maximize your ability to get the most amount of cycles out of that team cycle bonus component is by building your organization so that it's either a 2-to-1 in terms of volume, strength versus weak leg, or even legs, 1-to-1. And you can go back and look at the team cycle bonus video and some of the early videos about getting the diamond and those things so that you can get some background on that. But for purposes of today, what we're going to talk about is an organization that has one super strong leg and one weak leg, so that it's a business that's building on the 2-to-1 concept. Now, that's not to say that you can't utilize the concept of stacking into 1-to-1 business. You certainly can, but there's some different drivers when you're building in that capacity, and we'll cover that in a different video. In order to really maximize the abilities of stacking, you want to be in a situation where you've got the 2-to-1. You've got one super strong leg and then a weak leg that's chasing that super strong leg, driving cycles, okay? And what stacking is going to do for you is open the ability for you to cycle multiple times on the exact same volume, okay? Now, if that doesn't make sense to you yet, it's going to by the time we get to the end of this video. So let me show you a little bit about what stacking does for your ability to maximize your earnings under the compensation plan. Again, if you're going to be stacking, and what we're going to be talking about today is a business that has one super strong leg, okay? And this might happen because you were placed on a strong leg, and it might happen simply because some of the initial people who you sponsored on this leg happen to take off, become super rock stars, build great businesses, which is going to obviously create a strong leg. Now, if you remember my story, that's really what happened for me. I wasn't necessarily placed on a strong leg. I didn't necessarily have a situation in the beginning where I knew which one was going to be strong and which one was going to be weak. In fact, my right leg started off as my strong leg, and then my left leg started to take off because of some rock star coaches who were placed on that leg, okay? And this is what it looks like now. We've got one super strong leg that just runs on its own and creates at least twice the amount of volume as my other leg on the weak side, okay? And that allows me to build in that 2-to-1 framework. Now, when you have that kind of a situation, you can sort of plan looking down the road on how you're going to build to maximize your ability to push cycles in your primary business center, but also to cycle off of the same volume multiple times because of the stacking of your own business centers. And here's what I mean by that. If this is you, and you've got one strong leg, we're going to be focusing on the weak leg. The best case scenario, if you're building in this style, is to have a strong leg that's so strong that you don't even have to worry about that leg. In fact, you're only going to be sponsoring coaches on your strong leg so that you have the minimum amount to reach the ranks that you're trying to rank up to, okay? And I'll be going over that, what that is, but obviously you're going to start off with diamond, so you need your 4 personally sponsored on each side, with 1 at least being emerald. So you're going to get to that point at least, And then we'll talk about whether you go further, when you go further, and why you might go further on the strong leg. But for now, let's assume that you're at diamond, you've got a strong leg, your spouse has been sponsored on your weak leg. And if you watched the last video, and if you watched the diamond video, and I do hope you're watching these in orders because there is a rhyme or a reason to what we're doing here and the order that we're rolling this information out. If your spouse is sponsored on your weak leg, the spouse is emerald because you've followed our plan to get yourself to diamond, and part of that plan is bringing the spouse to emerald. You've already started stacking. This is your first stack, okay? And as we talked about in the why you should sign your spouse video, the stacking starts right there, right in the beginning, and that's because you're going to have a shared leg with your spouse. And especially if you're building the way we talked about in the last video, placing all of your PS coaches on the far outside leg so that they're all lined up underneath each other, you and your spouse are going to have this shared leg. Now, this shared leg is your weak leg, but if you're building correctly, it will be your spouse's strong leg. And here's where you'll be teaming up. All of the volume that's coming up this leg is going to be cycled out by your spouse, and your spouse is going to earn a team cycle bonus based on this volume and how it's cycled by the opposite leg. That same volume is going to flow up to your business center, and you're going to cycle out that same volume based on what you have going on over here and earning a team cycle bonus on the same volume, okay? That's stacking, okay? That's the beginning of it, and that's where it starts, and that's why we talked about in some of the earlier videos how important it is to get your spouse signed up into your business fairly soon so that you can maximize this. And if your spouse is way down here, then you're missing all of this volume in between. You want to be able to catch as much of it as possible and get as many payouts on the team cycle bonus aspect as you can off of that same volume, okay? Now, if you're also following the plan that we talked about in the last video, then you're also moving towards the ability to open multiple business centers, all right? And we talked about how to get yourself to 2-star diamond. Hopefully one of you are PS coaches over here, and you should plan this out. If you know that you've got a strong leg, and we don't want to be sponsoring too many coaches over there, because once that strong leg takes off, this is going to be the 2 on the 2-to-1 side of your volume ratio to push cycles. So we want to be building on the 1 side so that we're pushing against that ratio. And hopefully you're going to get to the point where adding more volume to your strong leg is not helping you in any way, because you're trying to push volume on this side to cycle out the larger amount of volume that's over here, okay? So once we get 1 PS diamond over here, your road to 2-star, as we discussed in the last video, is helping your spouse get to diamond. Now we've made it to 2-star diamond. And something really cool happens at 2-star diamond, and that is that you have the ability to open a second business center, a clone business center that is you, that you have the ability to place anywhere in your organization. Well, if we're building based on stacking, then you're going to place that second business center on your spouse's weak leg, okay? Now you've been building a while, you've made it all the way to 2-star diamond, you've helped your spouse get to diamond, so there should be a pretty significant amount of activity happening over here already. And hopefully some of these people are business builder coaches, and they've started to run already. And so as I said, even though this is your weak side, this leg should be your spouse's strong leg. So what you're going to do is take your second business center and place it on your spouse's weak leg. So that now everything you do in the second business center is going to drive volume to your spouse's business center to cycle out the volume that is being generated on the spouse's strong side. Now here's the cool thing. Cumulatively, you're still adding volume to your weak side, and so you're cycling that out up here as well against your strong leg. So here's the cool thing that happens. Any sales or any volume that you have happening down here in your second business center is going to come up here, and once you make it to Emerald or higher, you're going to cycle it out here. That same volume is going to flow up here. It's going to cycle against this volume. This then is all going to be accumulated, flow up to your business center, and you're going to cycle it out again. So the volume that you're generating down here in your second business center is going to be cycled here and here, giving you the ability to get a couple of bites at the apple. And in fact, once you get the second business center, at least to Emerald, it's going to cycle out here too. So all the volume generated down here in this part of your organization, you have the potential to earn a team cycle bonus 1, 2, 3 times on that exact same volume. Okay? And then the story just continues. If we continue this down, this is going to be the shared leg between your second business center and your spouse. Let's just put that up there so that no one can forget what that is. Okay? And then this is going to continue. But again, since this is a shared leg with your spouse, this will be the strong leg, theoretically, for your second business center. Once your second business center makes it to 2-star, or maybe even before that, your spouse makes it to 2-star, either way, the next business center, either your third CBC or your spouse's second, because on the spouse's business center, you're just going to duplicate what we did before. We're going to duplicate that road to 2-star so that you can open that next CBC, and it's going to go here. And I'm just going to call that third. Okay, whether it's your spouse's second or your third, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to drive home is the concept of how stacking works. And once you understand it, you can make that work for you wherever it fits best in your organization. Now what we've got is a situation where once we get this business center to Emerald and it's cycling, you're building down here now, because hopefully these legs are off and running and they're building themselves, and this leg's off and running and it's building itself, because you're working with your business partners. Remember, you're working with the coaches in your organization who are building businesses as well. Those are your partners. And wherever they may be, we're working with those and moving the business along. As you're growing your business and considering how you're placing your personally sponsored coaches, always keeping in mind this principle of stacking so that we can maximize the ability to earn under the compensation plan, maximizing and optimizing your ability to earn team cycle bonus on the volume that's being generated in your organization. So look what happens. Volume that's generated down here under your third business center, or your spouse's second, whatever that is, the third one you own, once it's Emerald or above, gets cycled here. All that volume flows up to the second business center. It's going to cycle against this leg. You're going to cycle that same volume again. All of it's going to flow up to the spouse's main center now, which is going to cycle against what's happening over here on this leg. All of that flowing back all the way up to the top in your main CBC, cycling against this volume. So now, on the volume that's been generated down here, which by the way, once you get to here, and all of these legs are off and running on their own, here's where you're building now. This volume is cycled 1, 2, 3, 4 times potentially of that exact same volume. Now that's pretty powerful, folks. That's really, really powerful stuff. Let me put some numbers to it so you can see just how powerful that is. Remember that the team cycle bonus, the 2 to 1 that we're reaching for, is that you're going to get paid, once you're at the diamond level, you're going to get paid a team cycle bonus payout of $18 every time there's 300 volume points in your organization split 2 to 1. So 200 on one leg, 100 on the other. Every time that happens, you're paid out $18 at the diamond level. So that's $18 every $300. That's 6%, folks. Okay? And if we're building correctly, and if we're always mindful of our placements so that we are placing based on 2 principles. Number 1, where we need people to be, where we need personally sponsored coaches to drive our rank advancements forward, but also based on where we need volume. If you're already at a 2 to 1, you're not going to be putting your personally sponsored business partners over here anymore because this is the 2 already. You need it on your weak side, so we'll be building over here. Okay? Now, if you're earning 6% of all the volume underneath you, if you're set up correctly and cycling it all out, look what happens to the volume down here. If you're able to cycle it out down here, and let's just say these are now all at diamond, if this volume comes up here and we cycle it out, we get 6% here. The same volume's coming up, we're going to get another 6% on that volume here. That same volume comes up here, and if we're able to cycle it again, another 6% is paid out. And if we make it all the way up to here, still able to cycle on each one of these, there's another 6%. So we've got 6, 12, 18, 24% payout on the volume that's generated down here instead of just the 6% that we would normally be earning out of the team cycle bonus component of our volume if we were just kind of all spread all over the place and we're not taking advantage of the concept of stacking. That's what stacking opens up for you. And as I said, it starts right in the beginning by making sure that your spouse is signed up and making sure that you're mindful in how you're building and how you're driving volume and how you're placing new personally sponsored coaches to make sure that you're optimizing those cycles. Now, stacking is just one principle in how you drive forward your business, but it's a very powerful one, as you can see. And if you're truly following this pattern and you're building the strong leg, weak leg kind of a business, then you have to think about that right up in the beginning. In the beginning, I started placing anybody who came into the business who wanted to do the business as a business, not just a discount coach, and who wanted to partner with me and really run. I placed them over here because I wanted to build a strong leg that would become so strong that I would no longer have to focus over there. And guess what? That's what happened. And now if you look at my business, my left leg is so strong. There's multiple millionaire coaches over there, elite coaches over there, 5-star Diamond Plus coaches over there. I think it's about 25,000 coaches strong now. It's a leg that has a life of its own, which means that I get to pay attention to the stacking principle and I can spend all my time over here growing that way. And that's something that you can think about right in the beginning. Plan that out as you're building your business. Okay? Now, as I said, if you happen to have a business that's doing the 1-to-1 ratio, that's fine too. And we'll talk about that in a different video about how to maximize that. And that is, by the way, the other way to maximize team cycle bonusing under the compensation plan. And I'm not here to say one is right and one's wrong or one's better and one's worse. They are equally viable in terms of getting you the optimization, but you're just going to grow it a little bit differently. You're just going to be paying attention to some different things, okay? So sticking here and on the stacking principle, you can see how growing on purpose and consciously building that 2-to-1 under each of the business centers as you go along is going to drive your ability to keep moving this forward, okay? So that's stacking. One more thought though before we leave this, and that is the timing, okay? And again, this is only my humble opinion, but I believe there's a timing about when you place these business centers and what your step-by-step goals are in building your business. And I'll show you what that is and I'll tell you why I think it's important, okay? In my humble opinion, you start up here, obviously, and the first thing that we're trying to do is get your main business center to diamond. And in the diamond video and in the last coach placement video, one of the things that I talked about is how you utilize the spouse business center and helping your spouse build as well to get you to diamond and then also to get you to 2-star diamond. Okay, you've got the diamond here, you help the spouse get to diamond, boom, we're at 2-star diamond. In my opinion, as soon as you get to 2-star diamond, you open the second business center and you get it to emerald, at least to emerald. And then that's it. Then you leave it there for a little while. And here's the reason why. I want it placed as soon as possible because if I'm stacking, I want to get the full potential out of this leg here that my spouse and I are going to continue to grow together. If I wait until I'm 5-star or 10-star or 15-star up here, then where's this thing going to be? It's going to be way down here. Or it's going to be way over here. And it's going to miss a huge amount of volume that you could have otherwise been taking advantage of. So, 2-star diamond, and that includes your spouse to diamond, okay? 2-star diamond, you open that second business center right away because you want to get it placed as high as you can on your spouse's weak leg. Again, being mindful of how you're building. Keep building that spouse's strong leg while this thing's sitting over here at emerald because we know we're going to build against that soon. We want it to emerald because we do want it to be able to team cycle bonus right away. We do want it to be able to qualify and accumulate customers through the customer placement program. We want it to be in place and ready to go right away, okay? Then, come back up here, concentrate on getting yourself to 5-star diamond, your main business center. Once that happens, you now have an option. And that option is that we either duplicate over here on the spouse's site and run this now to 2-star diamond so that your spouse has that same ability to get that next business center, and that can be your third one over here. Okay? Or, and this again all depends on how things are going and how it's growing and how's it looking, the option is that you jump down to this emerald and make this a diamond now. And in fact, a cool thing is this second business center counts as one of your personally sponsored, so it may be one of the diamonds on the way to 5-star. Okay? And I would always leave this one as the last one. Let's make sure that you've got 3 more. You've got your spouse, now you've got 4. And if you need this one to be your 5th, then there you go. And it's a business center that you control, it's a business center that you're building, and so you can drive yourself to 5-star diamond. Now, once this business center is at 5-star diamond, and until it is capped under the compensation plan, meaning that you can't earn anything more under your team cycle bonuses because you've reached the cap of what you're able to earn in team cycle bonus under the 5-star diamond rank. And we went through that in one of the earlier videos, so if you don't understand that yet, go back and watch that one. We did a whole video on team cycle bonus and rank advancements and capping at each one. Until you're capped at 5-star diamond, you're going to stay at 5-star diamond and keep building out your spouse up to 2-star, because look at, we're building volume here to drive this center towards the cap, or building down here your second business center, and if we're driving that one to diamond to be your 5th diamond, and that's great too. And again, we're building consciously. Once this one makes it to 5-star, and then it's now in the process of backfilling the volume so that 5-star actually means something. It doesn't make any sense, again, in my humble opinion, to continue to rank advance if you're not capped at that rank yet, because remember, the ranks just determine how much you're able to earn through team cycle bonusing at each rank. So if you're not capped here yet, then there's no reason to raise the ceiling yet, when you could be building volume down here and building your organization and your apparatus to continue to maximize what you're able to do under the compensation plan. So we're at 5-star. Next step would be spouse to 2-star or second business center to 2-star. Again, depending on how this is looking for you, what's going on in each center, and how you're building with your spouse. Everybody does that a little bit differently. Either way works though. 5-star, get this one to 2-star so that you can open that next business center. And again, in my humble opinion, you want to do that right away. We want it placed as high as we possibly can. We don't want to wait too long and get it way down here, because if this whole stacking principle is about maximizing team cycle bonus out of the volume that we're creating, then we want them as high as we can. Again, run it to emerald and let it stay at emerald until you're ready to make the next step, which would be, in my humble opinion, all the way back up here and running this one to at least 9-star, 9-star or 10-star. The team cycle bonus component of our earning capacity caps out at 10-star. 9-star because of this. If you're following this way of building, it's likely that you've only got a couple of diamonds over here. And to make it to 10-star, our compensation plan requires 5 diamonds on each side. That just might not happen. You may end up with 2 over here, because we need 2 on each side to get to 5-star, and you do want to get to at least that far. And here's the reason. If the comp plan maxes out at 10-star, getting to 9-star is almost there. It's only short the cap by $1,000 a week, which you're likely to make up through your through the bonus sharing, through what you're going to be doing based on your matching bonus, okay? A matching bonus that comes out of your personally sponsored coaches. So we're not too worried about that. But the reason why you hear some people talk about that stacking and 9-star goes together, is for that reason. Because if you've got 2 over here, and you've got 7 over here, 7 diamonds, because we're building volume over here, it may not make sense for you to come over here and try to build more personally sponsored coaches, because the volume is just too strong. Putting more people over there and trying to build diamonds is not making sense in terms of pushing your income forward. We're building these other business centers under this same scenario of running them to 9, 9, 9, strong side, weak side, continually building weakest side all the time, is the way in the strong side, weak side formula of building to maximize your ability to generate income. And that's why you hear those 2 things going together, 9-star diamond business and the stacking principle repeating over and over again, building 9-star businesses with a lopsided 2-to-1 strong side, weak side, so that you continue forward optimizing your ability to earn. Okay? And once you've got that, and this is up to 9-star or 10-star if you make it there, 15-star if you make it there, wherever it gets to at the top, but 9-star is probably where it's going to optimize if you're following this pattern. Then we come back down, we build this one to 5-star, then this one to 2-star, continuing that pattern over and over and over and over again, sort of inchworming back and forth. Every time we get to 2-star, we're opening that new business center as soon as we can, as close to the top on the weak leg as possible, and we're coming back up, we're building that, whatever that one is, the top one or the next lowest one to 5-star, then the next lowest one down up to 2-star, and continuing that pattern. That is the principle behind building a stacking business, okay? And as I said, there's 2 viable and very strong ways of building to maximize your ability to optimize team cycle bonus payout under our compensation plan, and it's either by building even legs, which we'll cover in another video, or by building 2-to-1, a super strong leg and then a weak leg that's always chasing to keep at least half the volume of what your strong leg is, and this is what it looks like. All right, I hope that makes sense. I know it's an awful lot of material. I know it's a little bit of, it takes a little bit of thinking. Go through it, watch it a couple of times, get over on the Facebook page. Let's get some good discussion going on this. Ask some questions. Let us know how you're doing things. And if you've got particular scenarios going on in your business, throw some questions out there and let's talk about it. Nobody's business ends up looking exactly like this ideal chart that I just put out. But you can use that as your driver in deciding how you're going to build, how you're going to place people, when you're going to open multiple business centers, and where you're going to put them. All right, as I said, I started with a strong leg over here and a weak leg over here. You just don't know when you're going to get a superstar that's going to flip the whole thing over. That's okay. If that happens, then great. You re-huddle and you come up with a strategy that's going to optimize what you have in your organization. But understanding how these things work will allow you to put them into place. Maybe you'll end up doing some stacking over here. Maybe you'll have a split and you'll have 2 areas where if you think it out and you have a spouse placement or a second business placement, you at least have now an understanding of how to use those things as multipliers for your ability to earn team cycle bonus off of the very same volume, always building in your lowest, weakest spot, driving volume forward through as many business centers as possible, driving team cycle bonus payouts in as many business centers as possible to increase your own ability to earn. All right, hope that makes sense. We'll see you on the Facebook page.